What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. It's on the left side here. We have Floowandereeze going up against Chimera Azamina with the Fainsmith stuff. This is probably going to be one of the better decks that can actually utilize the Azamina stuff from now on. You know, with the hit of OSS, making Diabellstar a little bit less of a better card. We are going to be seeing the Chimera deck end up choosing to go first, but in the die roll. And it looks like Floowandereeze is going to attempt to drop a shifter there. One of the only thoughts you have to actually make when you are playing Flu. We're going to be seeing a draw phase wanted being changed first, and we're going to chain the shifter to that. We have the Cobblewave for it, hitting the shifter, essentially saying no to that, letting the wanted hit the graveyard so we can potentially get a draw later on in the turn by banishing it here. We are going to be seeing a Full Roast being sent to the graveyard to summon out the Diabellstar. Diabellstar will then be able to activate the effects, allowing us to place the Azamina Deception there. We're going to be seeing Deception going to be activated, and we do have the Tribute monster sending the Diabellstar, and that's going to allow us to search for the Hallowed Azamina. That's going to give us access to the Azamina line, either going up for the Ultra or the Silvera here. So we're going to go for the Renglacio or whatever. That's going to activate the effects, allowing us to search. And we're going to be adding a copy of the... We already have a Wanted in our graveyard here, so we can add a copy of the Trap card. I believe this one is called Stampede. So this is a Slumber, so it's going to be, if we control an Illusion monster, we can just book a Luna card here, which is going to be pretty nice. And we are going to be activating the effect of the Hallowed Azamina, adding it back to the hand by setting the Renglacio back to the hand here. Then we're going to activate it, sending the Trap card to the graveyard to allow us to summon a Silvera there. So it's pretty nice that while we control an Illusion level 5 or higher, we can actually reset that Slumber directly onto the field, which is pretty nice. And I believe that the Silvera is an Illusion monster, so it'll actually allow us to set that there. And so now we're going to go for a normal summon of the copy of the Moon Knight, and that's going to allow us now to go up into the level 5 here, whatever his name is, the Dark Baphomet, which can allow us to search for searching for the Chimera Fusion alongside the Gazelle, while also having a negate on the field in that form of Silvera here. So now we're going to be seeing the Chimera Fusion going to be activating using the Gazelle as well as the Baphomet, allowing us to go up into either the Chimera King of the Mythical Beasts or the Baphomet there, depending on what we want to go for. We do see us go for the Chimera here, and then we're going to be activating the effect of making it so that we get to add, send, and summon. So we're going to search for a Diabellstar, and then we are going to send one of their cards to the graveyard during the end phase during this turn here. And then we can actually add back the fusion as well. So we see lots of different recursion, as well as the Moon Knight or Mirror Swords Knight being placed onto the field here. But we can now summon up the Diabells because we do control a Diabellstar in the graveyard, which is going to be a one-sided anti-spell. Now, against Flu, it's not the greatest. I mean, it is good against their quick play spell, making it, as well as their field spell, making it so that essentially you can pop the field spell there if you want to, but we are going to be seeing a bunch of cards set, the Deception resetting itself, and then we do hit a Robina here from the hand, which is going to be a pretty good hit, if I do say so myself. So it looks like we have Featherstorm and an Imperm here. We are going to be seeing the Mirror Swords Knight in the draw phase, can activate its effects. Letting us go up to a Gazelle here, and we're just going to admit defeat right on that, rather than the game is going to be lost. I mean, Flu is not in a good position right now in the format. You look at Ryzeal essentially just cooks the whole Flu board. I mean, Malice does have a little bit of a bad matchup against Flu. Obviously, it's a whole Link deck, but even getting banished with Shifter, like it's Flu is no longer like the best Shifter deck. Even like Kashtira kind of just does a better job, especially with how many Fiendsmiths running around. Kashtira just has a better advantage, being able to hit sometimes, that sequence or the Requiem, stopping the plays completely, or even hitting just the Desiree. Honestly, you can hit the Desiree if they play the Trap, and then all of a sudden, like the Fiendsmith in Paradise isn't going to do anything if it hits the graveyard. Like, you are cutting off kind of everything here because you don't care no longer if they end up going for a sequence if they have no good fusion monsters to make. So that's pretty important to note. Like, you can kind of get rid of the Desiree and stuff like that by banishing it face down, making so that they just can't have any access to it at all, rather than hit like the sequence alongside the Requiem. But a lot of players are also playing like Chaos Angel as well. So if you do get rid of the Desiree, they can still play or link climb with the fusion stuff. But dive on to game 2, we are going to be seeing Floowandereeze, attempt to go first here, Activating the map's going to allow us to have an additional normal. We are going to place the continuous spell on the field, and then this is not going to do that much for us unless maybe they summon out a monster here or something, a quick effect. It's not going to do really anything other than let us draw cards. But we're going to go Rabina, and we're going to be banishing the Eaglin, and then we're going to go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2 here, and they do have a Veiler for that Rabina. We do have a Call of the Grave. Both players have a Call of the Grave going first here. Kind of nice. I wish I was built like that. So we're going to be seeing the Rabina search here for the Veteran Bat. This is going to be a common that has like a thrice per turn effect. It's just a Book of Moons, a bunch of cards when the special summoned out. Not the greatest here. We're going to go for Eaglin, and it's going to let us search for the M-Pen. Then we're going to go up into the M-Pen here, and then we get a additional normal. We're going to go Chain Link, also adding back the Rabina here. We're going to search for the Trap, and we can summon out the Veteran Bat if we want to. And then we're going to take a second to read the Trap as well. We do normal summon it out, so we have like two type of Floodgate-ish monsters there. We're going to set 2 cards and just pass turn on this pretty decent end board, for Flu at least. We have the Rabina in the hand. Nothing really too crazy. We're going to be seeing a Wanted going to be activated, allowing us to search for the Diabellstar. Going to be a pretty good opening. We love having Diabellstar, obviously, in rotation. And then the Wanted draws, off Deception can be quite nice. Especially if you don't want to, continuously draw the Deception or reset the Deception after, the turn. Getting those draws just as nice overall, honestly. If you open up Double Deception, you can also pitch it off the Diabellstar, allowing you to then just, put it back for the Wanted draw, essentially. We're going to be seeing the Necrom going to be sent here for the Diabellstar. This is going to be the one that can banish itself to summon out the adjusted gold from the deck, giving us access to the Fiendsmith card. So not only can you send it off the Bephermat, if you open up in the hand playing the Diabellstar cards, you can send it to the graveyard. We are going to be seeing a Harpy's Feather Duster being flipped face up here, essentially just stealing the game altogether. Flu has a bunch of those just auto-win cards with the Harpy Feather Duster, Shifter, which a lot of other decks are now playing as well. But even M-Pen, kind of just sits on the field and does shit on a lot of those Link decks or other decks that require those monsters to be summoned in attack position to kind of continue. Obviously you can summon in defense, but it is hard to out an M-Pen while you are in defense position. Being able to beat over it and stuff like that, you have to kind of find ways to pop it. We are going to be seeing Flu end up taking the win game 2. Now, Flu is in a really weird of a spot because Shifter is no longer going to be that good of a card. We see Malice as well as the Rizal deck both being able to play Shifter. But with Malice being more represented, we are going to be seeing more of the Bestials, as well as, Fiendsmith being everywhere, with the Bestials being placed in there, which do not hurt Flu quite a bit. We see Fluros being played, and, you don't care about Fluros at all in your Flu deck. But you do care about Prelia, and that's going to be kind of a bit of a hard one to play against, giving them numerous draws, at least 3, to get your M-Pen on the field. And not to mention, Lancia being played as well, depending on how Malice kind of performs. If Malice gets more representative, we're going to be seeing more Lancias being played, which can make Flu a lot more worse. But it's a very cheap deck. A lot of people were saying, before it was the anti-meta deck, way back in its time. Now we still have Tempai. Tempai is so much more powerful than Flu, even with Chandra at 1 and the spell card at 1 here, with both hits on the ban list. I guess 3 hits with the field spell as well. Being super cocky. It's crazy that we never saw really anything from Flu get hit. We did see obviously the barrier statue, but that's not necessarily a Flu hit here. But dive on to game 3, we are going to be seeing Flu going to be forced to go second. We will see a Shifter to kind of stop the Diabellstar, Fiendsmith, as well as a bunch of the Chimera package here. But it does not appear so. We are going to be seeing the Chimera player think on this, and they do. So they don't activate Shifter. So they send a Shifter to the graveyard for a Diabellstar. Now, for anyone wondering why they are playing Shifter, it is due to the fact that, you want to be able to cross it out. And it's very important to cross out Shifter in a deck like this, where your whole kind of triple engines do get hit with this one card here. And it's a very representative card. The same thing I'm doing with Memento. We're going to be seeing the Deception going to be activated, sending the Diabellstar to the graveyard, allowing us to search for the Azamina and the Hallowed Azamina there. And we are going to be seeing the Hallowed sending the Deception to the graveyard to summon out the Ringlatio, which can then search, most likely for the Trap once again here. or a wanted, depending on how we want to be able to search. So we're going to go for the wanted there, maybe wanting that draw if our hand's not going to be the greatest. They are thinking on it, so it definitely cannot be the craziest hand. We're going to go for wanted now, and that's going to allow us to search for another Diabellstar. And we could have chained, like we should have went Hallowed Azamina, add back, then Hallowed Azamina chain the wanted there, so that we could have gotten a free send and still search for the Diabellstar. I wonder if they didn't know about that combo line here, because it doesn't look like they have any other Sinful Spoils to send to the graveyard to get out that copy of the Silvera there. And so it doesn't look like that way at all, because we are going to do some normal summon like Gazelle, which is going to give us a completely different line. And I don't believe that this gives us any access to any Sinful Spoils cards. So we're going to see Gazelle letting us search for Chimera Fusion at this point, or searching for the Necrom. I did not know we could do that. So we can search for any level 5 or higher Fiend monster, which Necrom is a level 5 Fiend. So we have the Chimera Fusion, which can use itself alongside the Gazelle to go up into the King of Mythical Beasts. Or Phantom Beast, I should say. Mythical Beast is the other one. And then we're going to be ripping a card from their hand, as well as, being able to banish to graveyard summon out a Fiendsmith monster. And we're going to search for a Apprentice as well here, and then add back the Chimera Fusion. So we have lots of different cards that we can go for. We're going to be seeing a banishment of the Necrom, which can let us get the Adjusted Gold, which is a light Fiend for our Fiendsmith package. So definitely pretty cool here. You're not going for the Requiem. Requiem going to go up now into either Lacrima or Engraver. I'm going to be assuming it's going to be the Lacrima so we can dump the Engraver from the deck. And then we are going to be seeing that exactly here. I wonder if they're playing the Fiendsmith in Paradise. They are playing numerous, I want to say, soft bricks. So I definitely don't think that it does fit into this deck. But I definitely could be wrong here. So we're going to be seeing now the Diabellstar brings into the graveyard for the Apprentice. And what's really cool is now we have 2 level 6s on the field as well, so we could even see an overlay for a Caesar. We're going to be seeing a Coatl being searched. We're going to activate the Coatl, allowing us to search for a Mirror Swords Knight. And will we see a Caesar being made? It doesn't necessarily appear that way. We're going to go up now into the Sequence, and then Sequence is going to be activating its effects, putting back all 3 for a Requiem, or for the Desiree here. In defense position as well, so playing around that Lightning Storm that, Flu is pretty known for playing. And now, like Caesar, I'm talking about Caesar. We're playing against Flu. We're not making a Caesar here. Yeah, that definitely is not going to be the play. It is an option that we can make, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to see SP, and SP is going to be able to banish nothing here, because we just nothing really want to be able to hit. Then we're going to go for the Sequence, equipping itself. What's really cool about Sequence is also a Fiend, so you can use it for the Chimera Fusion as well. We're going to go now for the Bephomet, which we're going to be sending the Tiger King Wangu here, and we can actually now banish the King in the graveyard to summon this elf out, and this is going to be a complete OTK against the deck here. So we're going to be seeing a set off. Deception is going to be able to draw, banishing the wanted, putting back the Deception, allowing us to draw a card. And then we're going to go for the King, ripping a card, and we hit the Flu spell once again. So opening it up twice is not going to be crazy. And we are going to now banish the King to summon out the Wangu. And now we just cannot summon anything here. I'll take a second to read the card once again here. And this card just automatically shits on the nothing, because we have Dark Ruler no more, baby. That's crazy. Yeah, so now we can normal summon. Let's say this card just shits on Purely. It shits on Floowandereeze, it hits on Mimighoul. Like, it's just a good side deck option that you can play in your deck if you want to play it. It's getting into a bunch of different decks as well. I don't know if it's necessarily crazy against, maybe it's against Malice as well. I'm not exactly sure. We're going to be seeing the Lightning Storm being hit now, and this does, hurt us quite a bit here, because we do lose access to all our monsters. Now we can't even chain the SP because it is negated, but we do now have the ability to now banish the Bephomet to summon back out the King here. which we will have access to a negate now through this. But we're a normal summon an Eaglein, no effects, going right up into a Typhon here. And, we have the guy in the graveyard, the illusion now, the Mirror Swords Knight, allowing us to essentially be in a gate. But we're going to be seeing Typhon, and, you don't see Typhon being made quite often, but, like, in this case, where our hand's not too good, it does come up. So we're going to be seeing the Typhon be negated by that Mirror Swords Knight, banishing itself. And that's what I really like about the Chimera deck. I'm going to be picking it up myself. I'm getting my apprentices in the mail. We kind of had our mail slowed down for a while because of Canada Post being on strike. But once they're in, I'm most likely going to be doing a Chimera section. I do really enjoy the fact that this is going to be a pile type deck. We see the Typhon attack over the King, and then we're just passing turn on this. So we have the Desert right now back online, which is going to be pretty nice. We can add back the Chimera Fusion, and we have just essentially full gas. We also have the King in the graveyard, which can banish itself to summon back out one from the graveyard. We have Gazelle in the graveyard, I believe, which we can summon. But yeah, I really like the fact that it's just a pile deck that just keeps getting better and better depending on what you go for. And we're going to go Sequence sent to the graveyard for the Diabellstar. Now we can just re-equip the Sequence here, which is going to be pretty crazy, allowing us essentially just to continue just setting the Diabellstar for absolutely free. And keep in mind, we also have the Azamina card still in our hand. So setting the Deception from the deck with that Diabellstar is essentially going to be a free negate or, being able to serve with Salvera. So we're going to see Sequence re-equip itself. And then we are going to go Deception, activate, just so we can actually send it to the graveyard off of the Azamina. It does have to reset itself. It has to be face up on the field, which is important to note. So definitely make sure you do that when you want to activate the Azamina, Hallowed Azamina there. And we are looking at the other one, the common level 6. If it's Fusion Summon, you can target one card on the field, send it to the graveyard, then during your standby phase, you target it Azamina as the most popular card in your graveyard, add it back to the hand. It's called like Eretishichon or whatever. But this is going to be exactly enough on board, if I'm not mistaken. 27 plus 28 plus 25 is going to be enough, exactly 8,000 per game here, by also being able to send the Typhon to the graveyard. So we're going to be seeing a battle phase, and they're going to be able to declare the attack with all of them here for exactly 8,000, and we see the Chimera deck end up taking the win here. It looks like our hand was not that good with Ryza as well for the Floowandereeze player. But regardless, hoping you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.